All right. So, welcome to Job Sliders. I'm Bo Williams. I'm here with Matt right here. Today we're going to be talking about dance. Dance is a career, how to get into it, what it's like, and even enjoying it as a hobby if you don't intend on making it a career. All right. So, first, Matt, welcome. You want to tell everybody your name and what you do?
My name is Matt Bishop. I'm a dancer, getting into teaching now, choreographing, doing a whole lot of different stuff.
Hell yeah. So, bring us back to the beginning. When did you start dance?
I started dancing, I'm 21 now, but I started dancing 11 years ago at the age of 9. I'd been convinced to dance for years by my parents and my family because there was this wedding I was at when I was like 4 or 5 some years old, and I didn't know like how to dance, but I remember being on the dance floor one time and just was like moving my feet like really fast. Like, I don't know, I was just having fun, and the bride comes up to me and she's like, "Whoa, that was really cool, do that again." And I was like, okay. So I like do my little jig again, and she's like, "That's really cool." So then she goes over to my mom and is like, "That's your son, right?" And my mom was like, "Yeah." And the bride was like, "You need to get him into a dance class." I thought dance was like only for girls. Like, I didn't think that was like a dude thing at all. And so I was like very hesitant and resistant to the idea of doing that. But after years of like being encouraged to do that, I decided to take a hip hop dance class at my local studio on the condition that my sister would do it with me, and she did. And I found that I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would, and found that I was picking it up a lot better than I thought I would. And so that was the kind of first pivotal moment where everything spiraled from there. Yeah.
Did you ever think it would turn into like a career potential?
No, not at all. Even after like graduating high school, or like to the point of like graduating high school 8 years later, I still was like, this is not going to happen.
So what's been the biggest high point so far in your dance career?
The biggest like...
Most highest point so far. Coolest thing you've done?
Coolest thing I've done? This is not like dance related, but it's like on the production side of dance. I went last summer to American Dance Festival as a production intern and was able to work behind the scenes with a lot of professional touring companies that tour internationally and have been recognized to do that for years. And working with those top-notch companies was really enlightening to just like see the professional world, not just like on the front end that's on stage, but also on the back end. And that was, because they are like such professional level companies, that would definitely be like the like high point for me.
Was there ever a moment you almost like quit?
Quit dancing?
Yeah.
Yes. See, I'm a senior in college right now, but my freshman year I was having a lot of like injuries and stuff, and the biggest one out of those was I broke my toe, my pinky toe.
Damn!
Yeah, and that just like took everything away from me. That was a lot like mentally, emotionally to like walk through, because I wasn't able to dance during that time, and that went on for a little longer than it should have. It was almost looking like it was not going to heal, so that we would need to do surgery, but it didn't come to that point. But in that whole season, I struggled with like, wow, is this like what I'm supposed to do? Like, can I even still make it, even though despite this injury? I wasn't even fully on board with like continuing dance as my degree. I'm a dance major, and hadn't like, I decided that going into college, but like mentally I wasn't like fully there yet to pursue that for the full 4 years, because I thought that, you know, everything was like fighting against me, and now I have this like, my foot's broken too. So that was just a difficult thing, and kind of in my mind, yeah, like I did kind of think that was it, and that was the end of it. And you know, we got through it on the other end, but that was definitely, if I was going to say I quit at any point, that was definitely it.
Okay. So how'd you get involved with Foco Flava?
Foco Flava, they're a local nonprofit hip-hop dance crew located in Fort Collins here. I got involved with them because my time in college, I first got involved with the CSU Hip Hop Dance Club, just as like a member, and then eventually became an officer for that organization, running as vice president a couple years ago, and then president my senior year. And Foco Flava, the founders of Foco Flava, they also founded the CSU Hip Hop Dance Club back in 2018. And there's always been close ties with both organizations ever since. And so getting involved with the Hip Hop Dance Club as a student organization and being an officer, I just naturally brushed elbows with the people that were a part of Foco Flava. And there was never like a defining moment like, oh, I'm like with Foco Flava now. It was kind of just like, do this with them here, do this with them there, and the partnerships along the way. And there's been mutual strengthening of both organizations through that, and with myself included, I can like say like, oh yeah, like I dance with them, I battle with them, I help them with their yearly jam. But so that's kind of how that happened. It wasn't like boom like that.
Okay. So what's something about like the dance world that, or like Foco Flava, that most people like don't really understand, or I guess like get wrong? You kind of touched on earlier that like dance is like a girl's thing. You didn't think of it as like a guy thing, but I know a ton of guys that get busy, bro.
Yeah, that is definitely something that I'll like say again and highlight. Just like dance is not just for girls, and it's not just even a guy thing too. It's for everyone, no matter like what your background is, where you come from, what your identity is, or who you are. Like dance is for everyone. And just like where I came from, where I grew up, and I had like this kind of limited idea of like what that was for. And it's not only is it just for everyone, but I'll say like it's for those that don't know how to dance too. Because I think one of the things that doing outreach and stuff to get people involved is I'll come across people that don't know how to dance, or they're like a beginner.
Do you like teach them a little bit?
I have taught people, like being an officer with the Hip Hop Dance Club at CSU, like it's part of my role was like facilitating the culture of that organization and like doing outreach to bring them into the club, to get them involved with dance, specifically hip hop as a hip hop organization. But there are so many people I've met that would just be like, no, I don't dance, it's not for me, I can't do that. Or they'll be a beginner and be like, yeah, but I don't got like a sense of rhythm. Or maybe they do dance, but they've never done hip hop before, and they like have this mindset that they can't do it, and so they don't even begin to step into the space. And I've seen this with all three of those types of people, where it's really just a mindset thing, where if you step in once, like we don't care how good you are, like truly. It's just a matter of like just starting somewhere, and eventually your skills will grow. But even regardless of your skill, like dance is for everyone. And that was one of the things that I always prefaced with, outreach for the club was like, just come in. We just want you here for the community. And I've seen a lot of growth from all three of those types of people that just like, get rid of that idea in their mind. So this is why I say, you watching this or listening to this, like if you think dance is not for you, it is. Just start.
Just start. That's the best advice, bro. Did you ever learn like any like unwritten rules or anything like the hard way?
One of the biggest things for like traditional studio spaces, or even just any studio space, is like, unless it's hip hop, don't go into that studio wearing your shoes, because that damages the studio and it gets them dirty, and those studios cost a lot of money to put that dance flooring there.
Oh yeah.
So like take your shoes off, or if you are going to do hip hop, you can do it in your shoes, but it's best to have a separate pair of shoes that you dance in only. And I have several pairs of shoes that I don't wear them when I'm out and about, because they're specifically for dancing in like that studio environment. That's just one of many rules.
I definitely remember that. I had a pair of high top sneakers that were my dance shoes. I never got into like sneakers like Dunks or anything like that. I know that's like a big thing. It's like the Nike SBs and like lows, that kind of stuff. Like
what are you asking?
Like during your time dancing, what's the biggest change that you've experienced like in the world of dance? Inside.
Like how dance has evolved? Like
just like I mean, it could be like, shoot, I only know a little bit, but like nobody's doing this anymore. Like this is really doing it like this way, or like most people have evolved from these kinds of shoes, or hip hop's leaned more towards this now instead of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say, and this is not just for hip hop or ballet. This is for like every style of dance, and just like the idea of dance generally. I think I only started dancing like 11 years ago, but even since then I've noticed a shift in how people perceive dance in terms of body image. It's way more acceptable now for someone, because in the ballet world, and it's kind of where it comes from, is like it's perceived that only like super skinny people were able to dance, and that's because like that's who those ballet companies like highlighted on stage. But really, like, I mean, we're getting, and that was in a very toxic, unhealthy way for a lot of those people that like had eating disorders or like very bad images of themselves because they thought they had to like be a certain size or type and in order to get cast or into an audition. But seeing now, like, there's a lot of companies that are adjusting more to healthy standards of body image and body types to be more inclusive for everyone, and that's really powerful because there's a lot of dancers that, like, even if they're not the most super skinny person, they're still phenomenal dancers with a great mindset and work ethic, and it's like we can't be cutting off that margin just because of something so superficial at all. So that's been the biggest shift, is just like body image, the idea of that and how that's approached professionally has changed.
So has that like affected that openness and inclusivity? Has that affected you in your life in any way?
I think it has. I think because I see a wider range of individuals getting into space now that I wouldn't have seen otherwise. And so now I'm building relationships with a wider, a groups of individuals with much wider backgrounds, and that makes me see how dance is more for everyone than it really ever has been, especially as someone that, like, you know, not from a body image standpoint, but just like as a male, thought that dance was only for like girls and women, that like dance is really for everyone. It truly is. It does not matter where you come from.
You ever had any like oh crap moments on stage?
Plenty. Yeah.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal. Stuff happens. Live performances, anything could go wrong. There's no do-overs. Funniest or craziest oh crap moment?
Wow. Thinking all the way back to competition days, because that's when most of that happened. I didn't really compete in college at all. That was mostly like high school and junior high, which is when a lot of that kind of stuff happened on stage, where I would forget choreography. Funniest moments, I threw in like...
Just like the top one.
Yeah, I forgot some choreo this one time, and so I threw in like some pop trendy like TikTok dance moves in place of the choreo because I couldn't think of what it was supposed to be, and I remember like shoo 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 like dance move and like just like the most cringe stuff because I didn't remember what to do, and I was just like, we gotta do something.
Gotta do something. So if someone's gonna start dancing like 8, 18, 25, even older than that, what would you tell them?
Don't take it too seriously. Like,
that's such a good piece of advice.
Like it's great that you're getting into it, but like especially when you're getting into it, I think it can be very easy to be hard on yourself to like get the move right or like get it down super perfect or correct. Mm-hmm. It's like doing that doesn't do anything good for your mental health, and it just takes the fun out of it. And you probably started dancing for the fun of it anyways. So just make sure to not take it too seriously and keep having fun.
All right. We got one more after this, but, well, after this, it's a fun question. So where do you see your dance path sliding next?
My dance path sliding next. Later down the line, I really don't know. I'm just graduating college in like a month, and I'm very happy with where I'm at now, you know, dancing with Foco Flav. I teach at a local dance studio, and I do backstage production in theater spaces where dances happen at a local theater, and I'm very happy with that now. Long-term possibilities could be joining a touring dance company. It could be
Jabberwockies.
I don't know.
Hit 'em up.
It could be maybe trying to go through the battle scene and rise to the ranks of being a battle dancer up to like freestyle session or BC1 or something like that.
Red Bull has something like that too, right?
Yeah, Dance Your Style. Red Bull has Dance Your Style. That I think would be more on like the passion side of like my career if I chose to do that. Other potential possibilities would be starting my own dance company for creative projects. There's a lot of things you can do with it, but like I said, I'm not taking it too seriously. I'm having fun. Yes, it's my career, but like, you know, you gotta have fun with it. So I'm trying to have fun with it.
All right, Desert Island. You've got a stage. You've got a place to perform. 5 items. What are you bringing? You only get 5.
on a desert island and a stage to perform.
Yeah, you have a place to like perform, practice, whatever.
Okay.
Like you got a little bit of a shelter, like somewhere to get groovy.
Okay. Are we assuming this has like a speaker for audio?
That's one of your items, dude.
Okay. Then I'll bring a speaker for music. I'll bring an iPod with any song in the world I need. Pair of dance shoes.
Bro, why not your phone? Oh, okay. Some dance shoes.
Dance shoes. A water bottle with infinite water.
You're on an island, bro. There is infinite water.
And then just a water bottle. And then the fifth thing would be, what do I always need with an audience? I don't know.
I know you, so let me answer this last one. Bring your Switch, bro.
Bring my Switch, yes.
Bring
my
Switch, bro.
Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, that is Job Sliders. It's always cool to let people know and stay informed about different careers out there. Take his advice. It's good for almost anything you do. Never take anything too seriously. Unless you're super serious about it, you can't do anything else, then dive right in. But take care of yourself, take care of what you gotta do, and the people around you. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah, easy.
All right.